But who else was there? Oh God. Oh no, James, no. Generic intro into that goes me. We're back with another kill count reaction. Today we're doing Alien vs. Predator from 2004 and Aliens vs. Predator Requiem from 2007. I don't think we've done the Alien vs. Predator movies. I don't know, did I do a nostalgic video? I'm not really sure, but it's a kill count. We're back to the double headers. Let's go ahead and jump to the first one. All right. Hopefully nothing has to be blurred because of copyright.
Welcome to the Kill Count.
I don't think we've done Alien vs. Predator.
I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Alien vs. Predator, released in 2004. AVP is the big screen confrontation that fans had been waiting to see ever since Dark Horse's Aliens vs. Predator comic books came out in 1989. I bought some of those comics and read the first omnibus in preparation for this Kill Count. It wasn't bad, and I'm not even a huge comic book fan. After more than a decade in development, pretty much ever since Danny Glover found the Xenomorph skull in that ship in Predator 2, AVP was finally brought to life by longtime Predator producer John Davis and writer-director Paul W.S. Anderson. The story they settled on maintains the continuity of both film franchises and takes place largely in Antarctica. In the then
I want to go to Antarctica. I was just talking about that today. 2004, I was 7.
Alien quadrilogy and the first 3 Predator films on the Kill Count. So if you haven't watched those episodes yet, give them a look. I have awful hair in the Alien ones. After spending so much time with the 2 franchises for those
just like
episodes,
my first videos,
I've come to really enjoy both alien species. The xenomorphs from Alien are awesomely gross and Zerg-like, and the Predator species, the Yautja or whatever that word is, are some of the most badass hunters I've ever seen get down. Unfortunately, their first feature film together suffers from a number of issues. A pretty slow start, characters who only exist to get killed, and speaking of
nobody's ever
real
watched the
fucking
characters.
lame ones. Probably because of the movie's PG-13 rating. Although, heads up, I am using the unrated version for this kill count, which is about 7 minutes longer than the theatrical cut. I just don't think this movie's worth doing a full cut comparison for. Sorry. How many boring kills
I still need to do
aliens
this.
and or predators rack up? Let's find out and get to them.
Yeah, so I haven't seen an Alien vs. Predator video before.
Or at least the unrated version of the movie, begins in 1904, where a whaling station in Antarctica is looking pretty deserted, save for this freezer burn dude running around pissing himself silly. He winds up on the ground with a Predator laser sight on his chest.
Why are they in
Antarctica? He can get killed, a xenomorph jumps out and unleashes a title card.
There are places in Antarctica where no one has been before.
Take the cigarette outside. You're smoking the place up. When we return, we're in the present, where a xenomorph queen-looking satellite orbits around the blue marble we call home. The satellite is owned by the Weyland Corporation, which in 2004
that's what the shirt. Okay.
with Yutani, and it picks up an unidentified heat structure in Antarctica that sends the Weyland eggheads into a scramble. A crack team of various experts are flown to a giant icebreaker ship at the behest of Charles Bishop
fly
Weyland,
helicopters
pioneer of modern robotics.
in that kind of temperature?
The team consists of Lex Woods, an Antarctic guide played by Sanaa Lathan, a pair of archaeologists named Sebastian and Thomas, whose last job involved recreating the opening from The Exorcist, and Dr. Miller, a chemical engineer played by Ewan Bremner of Trainspotting and Wonder Woman. Charles Bishop Weyland himself is played by Lance Henriksen, who was, of course, the android named Bishop in Aliens and Alien 3. So, according to AVP, that android was designed and named after this guy, the CEO of Weyland Industries, who apparently was also the inspiration behind Bishop's knife game programming. Yep, I guess this is where the android
that's a cool little
tells
callback.
The makeshift team that they've discovered a pyramid 2,000 feet below the surface of Antarctica, and according to the pyramid professional Sebastian,
this might be the first pyramid ever built.
Oh, sweet! First edition pyramid. You know,
pyramids
and the Aurora Borealis are cool and all, but could we actually get some XTs up in this bitch? Thank you. We're finally aboard a Predator ship. It's about time we saw some of the titular combatants, and it looks like these Yautja are lasering the goddamn Earth. Cool.
That's fine.
And back to the boring ice boat. Son of a bitch. Lex has a team huddle where we get to meet some of the other quote-unquote characters, like the head of the drilling team, Rustin Quinn, and a couple of Weyland's
He looks like he's the head of the drilling team.
Hayden and Adele Rousseau. But honestly, none of them are interesting, and they're only here to increase my kill count graphic workload. They take a bunch of snowcats and head out into the Antarctic expanse, which really just makes me want to turn this movie off and watch The Thing instead. They get to the pyramid
I still haven't
site,
seen
which
The Thing.
Turns out is directly
I know nothing
below that
about
whaling
it. I was told I
station
couldn't
we
watch
saw
the
in
kill
unrated
count.
version's cold open. Cold open? Like Antarctica? Get it? The station's been abandoned since 1904, and now it's only only resident is this adorable penguin. Oh man, as much as it would suck to see a penguin get face hugged, how dope would a pengualien be? The team finds a perfectly drilled hole in the ground, the result of that space laser we saw a few minutes ago.
Okay.
But while they're busy wondering how it got there, I'm just fixated on how fun it would be to slide down that motherfucker. Before they
that would hurt.
There,
it
Lex
seems to be
discovers
ribbed
that
for
Wayland
not pleasure.
Or wait, no, that's a medical thing, because I guess he has some health issues. His sickness is
And
never
he's
specified,
in Antarctica?
but it sure sounds
I guess he
pretty
didn't tell
terminal,
anybody?
because after Lex tries to make him stay behind, he insists on coming so he can leave some kind of legacy.
You know what I realize will happen when I go? 10% fall in share prices. Maybe 12. That's it.
And so he joins them as they climb down the tunnel in a very unfun way. Come on, you cowards, just grab a potato sack and slide.
Or slide like a penguin.
Suboptimal surface
Like,
weather conditions
you
do
had
actually
the-
lead to
you
Wayland
had that
having
there,
a good
you know?
time slide around for a mo. But Lex says no fun allowed and puts an end to that shit with her ice pick.
You would go pretty
when
fast.
They get to the bottom, they don't go back to the top of the slide. Instead, they stop and they turn, and their minds go for a ride. Because right now, they're looking at the world's first ever pyramid. Cool.
Wait, so they just...
Literally, it's gotta be pretty cold down there.
Congratulations, Mr. Wayland. Looks like you'll be leaving your mark after all.
Yeah, go
pretty
piss
small
on it. Leave that
pyramid.
mark. They head up the stairs and into
also,
the
it's
pyramid.
2,000 feet below the surface.
Just how
long
this
was
damn
that
movie
tunnel
in
they went
development.
down?
An inconvenient
And an
step
angle.
triggers some kind of mechanical system that's shown to us in a very Resident Evil way using holographic maps that zoom in and out of the action. Not surprising,
That's kinda cool.
since writer-director Paul W.S.
Oh,
Anderson
wow.
had
Yeah,
just
that
made
is
the
Resident
first
Evil.
Resident
I still
Evil
haven't
movie
seen
2 years
those
prior
movies.
to
I played
this.
the
system
first
that was triggered pulls an
4
alien
games?
queen out of deep freeze and puts her in a microwave on the dethaw setting. And it must be a high wattage microwave too, because she comes back to life immediately. Great practical effects here. One of this movie's strong points is ADI's kick-ass puppetry for the xenomorphs. All this human activity has captured the attention of the predators on their spaceship, so they suit up and fly their craft right on over to the whaling station.
Oh, this is
where
fine.
3 pods are jettisoned to give us a triple dose.
You really need to bring a ship that big to drop off 3
finally
people?
time for some friggin' kills. Unfortunately, the first batch of kills
So wouldn't they be
are of
covering
a
their
whole bunch
face?
of nameless mercenaries. The first victim.
Why'd they
is
bring
killed in
mercenaries?
First-person predator vision, something we've all seen before. And then the invisible predators land among these no-names
Why
and get to
would
murdering
they
them with their usual bag of
why would they
predator
bring
strips,
guns?
accompanied by a lot of bad-looking CGI blood in the unrated version. At the end of this attack, 4 mercs have been murked, and although they're all nameless nobodies, I can at least appreciate the shots of this last dude with a spear pinning him to the wall. Head driller Quinn shows up, and after finding his 4 former co-workers strung up in classic Predator fashion, he shoots at a shimmering outline to reveal the cool-looking leader of the Predators in this movie. This Predator, named Celtic apparently, knocks Quinn down the ice slide, so at least someone gets to use this thing
Is he gonna
properly.
die?
Thanks, Mr. Alien, see you at the bottom! As
Like,
Celtic
you would end
admires
up going
his work,
so
he's flanked by
fast.
the other 2 Preds in this movie, Chopper and Scar. We transition back to the human cast with another blatant ripoff of Resident Evil. Wait, can you call it a ripoff if it's by the same director? Or should we just call it lazy? Either way, the humans stumble upon a sacrificial chamber where a bunch of
bad,
skeletons
right?
are laid out. Way too old and decomposed for me to include on the count.
Also,
Like,
would
what?
they really be
Want me to count up all these
decomposed?
wall skulls too? That's stupid.
Why would
We
it be
also
warm
find
down
the
there?
calcified carcass of a facehugger and some hieroglyphics that Thomas is able to read with
Because it looks cold,
ease.
or it should be
Gave
dust.
their lives so the hunt could begin.
What kind of hunt, you ask? Well, the one that involves this big mama alien and her nasty sack of xenomorph eggs. Oh, and she's laying them down all gross on a conveyor belt? I know it's painful, Xeno Queen, but push,
Is it?
push. We need something to put up a good fight against the Predators, because that Quinn dude sure isn't in any condition to do so.
Oh.
He gets killed quickly and unceremoniously by the Predator who will come to be known as Scar, with an off-screen slash that covers some nearby snow and blood. Wayland's body man Maxwell discovers an additionally subterranean
Why is there
chamber,
another tunnel?
and all the important characters head down there, leaving second stringers like Thomas and Rousseau behind in the sacrificial
They're
chamber.
gonna die.
The characters who
They're
descend
already in the
find a
sacrificial
sarcophagus
chamber.
and open it to reveal that it's filled with dry ice. Cool. You know, like literally. Again, last time I promise. It's also got a trio of
Guns?
Predator plasma casters, the shoulder-mounted cannon
That are
is
ancient.
my favorite of all of the Predator's weaponry. Showing a remarkable level
They're
of
ancient.
ignorance, Mr. Wayland's team takes the plasma casters, which of course triggers some more Legends of the Hidden Temple shit. It all gets reported back to the Predators on their wrist doodads and sends them running deeper into the pyramid. The pyramid innards start to shift around the humans, with staircases revealing themselves
That's cool.
and most of the doors around them sealing shut. The people in the sacrificial chamber
Is this
are
like the
completely
mummy now?
closed in, which is pretty bad news considering that a bunch of xenomorph eggs just rose up at the foot of all those
They don't have any
sacrifice
guns, do they?
tables. Even
All the people's
worse for
guns
the
are
6
upstairs.
people left in there is when the eggs immediately begin to hatch, because gross-looking facehuggers climb out and fly through the air in bullet time to do what they do best. Get that
well,
grunty.
she did
Later
have...
on, Rousseau comes to and finds the rest of the people in the chamber getting face fucked. And although Rousseau is the only one who we actually see get killed here, I'm gonna count
all the other
Thomas
ones died
and the
too.
other 4 people stuck in that room.
They
as
were
dead
in the
right
chamber.
now. We never see them again after this, but it's safe to say they're all victims of the classic chest burst. The remaining group of humans are trying to find their way out of the pyramid when the 3 predators come across them. We all know predators only attack beings that propose a threat, but these TSA scans show that the humans are indeed packing heat. So the Preds launch another attack, and
That's
this Merc
really
named
a pun.
Stone is the first to go when he gets a noose around his neck,
No
ultimately
awareness.
getting killed off screen
Nobody
above
heard
the
that?
rest of his team. The humans break out into a panic after that, which only escalates when another Merc named Bass, or Base maybe, gets killed by a telescoping spear that gets thrown through his chest. I guess those things are also called combi sticks? Call it whatever you want, man. It's friggin' dope either way. The team fails to successfully shoot down Scar the Predator.
Everyone
and
missed?
the Pyramid Stone shift around again like this a goddamn Tomb Raider game or something. Everybody who's not
played
dead
this
gets
game.
separated into a number of smaller groups. This one guy, Joe
convenient.
Connors, finds himself completely alone and crawling through some tunnels until
I guess
a
the
first-person
Predators
xenomorph
knew
comes
that
along and
the
abducts
blueprint-
his ass. The same fate befalls Dr. Miller and that surly mercenary Verheiden. After a
Why
trap
does
door
he look
separates
like,
them from each other, Dr. Miller gets yoinked
what
up
is his
into
name?
the
He was in the
ceiling,
Top
and
Gun
after
movie. I
cribbing
haven't
the
seen
classic
it, but he's
Predator
also
line,
in Whiplash in the Gorge.
Verheiden is captured as well. Once again, I've just gotta compliment the practical effects done by Amalgamated Dynamics Inc., better known as ADI. They were that company whose practical effects in the Thing prequel got replaced by CGI because of the studio. Fun fact, ADI was co-founded by Tom Woodruff Jr., a protege of Stan Winston who played xenomorphs in Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and both AVP movies.
I
Elsewhere
cannot
in the
imagine
pyramid,
how
the
much
other
that
group of
cost to
survivors is being
do.
slowed down by Wayland's sick ass coughing all over the place. That makes them easy prey for the Predators, who find them and launch a Cyrax net at Maxwell, which pins him against the wall.
Why does
The
everybody
net
just
begins
keep
to
their fingers
constrict, and it
pressed?
proves to be made of an unbreakable material. So Maxwell is stuck there as the big chonker Preddy Celtic stomps up to the group and starts kicking ass indiscriminately. He raises Sebastian into the air by his neck and is able to multitask enough to kill Maxwell off with his telescoping spear, stabbing through his body and the stone behind him to give us another shot of a weapon dripping with CGI blood, which is only slightly better than the much cleaner weapons featured in the PG-13 theatrical version. Lex is attacked by Chopper, the underwhelming third wheel of the Predator trio, but before he can use his wrist blade to kill her, he gets stabbed through the back by a xenomorph tail. The bunny bastard lifts Chopper
goodbye,
up
Chopper.
and brings him face to face for a nice poster image before it kills him with a head bite from its inner jaw. And in case you're new here, I try to restrict the kill count to humanoids, meaning predators like Chopper will go on the count, but the
aliens
insectoid
won't.
xenomorphs will not. Call me speciesist if you want. You'll see later why I ain't about to include those bugs. Celtic
Why?
sees that
Because there's
it's
gonna be a lot of them that die.
so he tosses Sebastian aside to take care of the bug menace. We finally get some of the Alien versus Predator fight that was promised in the title, and I, for one, am pretty satisfied.
I mean,
even if it does get a little pro wrestling when Celtic swings the
I actually
xenomorph
don't know
around
who
by its leg.
win
But I
that
love it
in a
when Celtic cuts part of
1v1.
the Xeno's
Probably
tail off, and
a
when
Predator,
the Xeno whips
right?
it around to spray acid blood onto Celtic's armor. Yeah, take it off, Pretty boy. Celtic manages
Well, now
to
if
net
they
the
do it
xenomorph
again,
when it
it's
tries
just
to
gonna go
ambush him
through
from
you.
above. And when the net's constriction breaks open the Xeno's skin, it leads to this particular xenomorph individual getting the nickname Grid. Grid's acid blood allows it to break out of the net, and it wins the battle by tackling Celtic and headbutting him with its inner jaw.
Headshot.
Boom! That is a lot of fluorescent Pretty blood. I'm a little sad because I thought Celtic looked pretty awesome, but I guess you can't make an AVP without cracking a few Preds. Lex, Sebastian, and Wayland make it into another chamber, but with Wayland too sick to carry on, he agrees to stay behind and fight the final
He's just
Predator.
too sick
Scar,
now,
while the other two get
but
away.
just now
Scar
this is
does
the
an
time.
MRI on the CEO and finds his ambiguous sickness, so he actually lets
Oh God,
him go,
what does he
like
have?
The City
That
Hunter
did not
did
look
with
good.
the pregnant detective in Predator 2. But Wayland's not backing down.
Turn your back on me.
And he uses a makeshift flamethrower to briefly light part of Scar's armor on fire. Yeah, dude, obviously the Predator is fireproof. What do you think you were
Wait,
doing?
you
All
thought
you've
that
done
was
is
gonna
make
do
him look
something?
Cool. Scar murders Charles Bishop Wayland by stabbing him through the chest with his wrist blade
Makes sense.
and letting his feeble body fall and roll down the stairs. Long live the CEO. Lex and Sebastian make their way through the ever-changing pyramid, while Scar gives us some awesome kills with a shuriken that sadly won't go on
that's
the
cool.
count because because, like I already said, they're just a bunch of fucking bugs. Nice half decap though, dude. By killing that xenomorph, Scar graduates from a young blood Yautja to a blooded warrior. So he removes his mask and gives himself a mark signifying this rite of passage right on his forehead with alien acid blood. Too bad his face about to get hugged. Xeno style.
Wait, really?
By looking at more engravings on the wall, Sebastian is able to figure out what purpose this pyramid serves for the Predators.
They've been sent here to prove that they're worthy to become adults.
Yep, consider this a pred mitzvah. These teenage Yautja had to come here and kill a xenomorph in order to gain their adulthood and the right to use those plasma casters. Some more hieroglyphics lead into a flashback that shows how Predators landed on the Earth thousands of years ago. And after
they built the
teaching
pyramids?
human beings cool shit like how to build pyramids,
which is
they
apparently
were worshipped
cool.
as gods. Not a bad gig, Preds. Every 100 years after that, the Predators would make the humans have a sacrifice party to breed some xenomorphs for game hunting. And I guess I have to include these 7 sacrificial maidens on the count if I want to be consistent. Fun fact, the one in front is played by Karima Adabib, who was the model for Lara Croft between 2006 and 2008. With every new batch of Xenos created,
those games.
Preds
I haven't
would
seen the
gather
movies.
to battle the Serpentine aliens, as shown in this scene that serves as a perfect example of why I don't include Xenos on the count. However, I do include Predators, and since we see 3 of them fighting from the top of that pyramid, and then see one of them set off a sore loser self-destruct bomb, I'll go ahead and count
I don't know about sore
warrior
loser.
alien friends in my continuing effort.
Okay,
to
now
break
that's
my
a
own
big
rules for
explosive
this
for
show.
one
By
person.
now, Dr. Miller has woken up, alive if not well, and he finds himself stuck to the wall with Verheiden to his left getting face hugged. To his right is the corpse of Joe Connors, that other dude who was abducted
didn't even see that.
And by now he's been chest bursted, so I'll go ahead and add him to the count.
So why
Miller
is
sees
he
a
by?
face hugger
Why is he
coming
alone?
at
Oh,
him,
yeah.
and very impressively manages to shoot it down before
What
he
a
can make
shot.
it with his face. But we soon see that he's gonna need a whole lot more bullets if he wants to make it out of this place alive.
20-round
Lex
mags,
decides
bro.
that she wants to give that last remaining Predator
20-round
his
mags.
mask, arguing that the enemy
Although
of
it
their
is
enemy
just
is their
5.7
friend.
by
Before they
28.
can find their friend, though, a xenomorph appears and chases them to a broken bridge that they have to jump over.
Which I
Lex
guess I
doesn't
could
quite
get the
make it all
PSA
the way, and while Sebastian
Rock
is trying to help
5.7
her out,
mags,
a
'cause I think
xenomorph
they're
appears
compatible
and drags
with
him away. Oh no!
my Ruger
After
57,
getting up over the edge,
which I think
Lex
those are
carries on
22
by
or
herself,
23
and
round
eventually
mags.
finds Scar, who's ready to show her he's not a little boy anymore. He's a man! She kneels down in submission to his manliness and slides over the plasma caster. But before he can grab it, another xenomorph appears and attacks the Predator. After knocking Scar aside, the xenomorph
I'm just
pounces
walking
at
away
Lex,
at that
only
point.
to get impaled upon the Predator combi stick, earning Lex her very own xenomorph kill, as well as some silent respect from Scar. He uses his newly earned plasma
wait, did we
caster
just
to
become
blow
best
apart
friends?
A bunch of Xenos, giving us fun alien explosions and intestines spilling out
That
to
looks
the
like
ground.
video
And when he goes
game,
to
like at a
leave,
car
Lex demands
arcade,
to
you know,
come
the
with
little
him.
gun
He
thing.
reluctantly agrees to
That's what
let
those
her tag
graphics just
along,
reminded
but
me of.
Scar wants her to be prepared, so first he makes her a dope-ass sword and shield made of xenomorph armor that should protect her against their acidic blood. All right,
What?
Lex, you
How
armed
did
and
you-
ready?
No, I guess they've been fighting for a long
Slightly
time,
romantic
so.
interspecies buddy cop sequence. Grid knows that if the aliens want to win against the power of love, they're gonna need the assistance
Love.
of the queen herself. So a couple of Xenos sacrifice themselves to some tongue punching in order to use their acid blood to dissolve the chains keeping the queen in captivity. Then the queen rips herself free of the nasty egg sac below her, allowing her to run down this corridor
This
looking
is
like
fine.
a dinosaur. Lex comes across the egg chain
Jurassic
and finds
Park.
the strung up body of Miller, now having been chest bursted
Ah,
for
well.
show. I'm gonna go ahead and put Verheiden on the count right now too. Although we don't see the mercenary in this scene, we know that he was next to Miller, and even though he was alive last time we saw him, I think by this point it's safe to assume he's joined Miller in having been chest bursted. Lex also finds Sebastian in a similar position, and although he's still alive,
For now.
Scar's X-ray scan shows that he's already got an alien bun in his human
Oh,
arm.
no.
He tells Lex not to let the xenomorphs reach the surface, and then she puts him out of his misery, apologizing as she shoots him in a mercy kill.
Is that a
Legit,
desert eagle?
Lex. Way to do what's necessary. As for the chest burster Sebastian was hosting, Scar
Did it
takes
die?
care of that
Oh, nice
feller
catch.
with a real simple neck snap. Seeing that there are plenty
Just-
more eggs with facehuggers hatching, Scar initiates the self-destruct bomb and tosses it into
Hopefully
the chamber.
it's not
Then
the
he
massive
and Lex
one.
make a super cute super getaway, fleeing from the pyramid and getting back to their little
Wait,
sled at
what?
the bottom of the ice tunnel. Before they can escape though, a
coming
xenomorph
down?
lands on Scar's back and impales him with its tail. Luckily, Lex saves her space boyfriend after
Space
once again
boyfriend.
referencing the same Arnold line from Predator.
You are one ugly mother.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's
we
no
get it,
reason to
AVP.
take that
You
long.
can reference other classic lines once in a while too, you know? The lovebirds leap onto the sled right as the self-destruct bomb goes off, giving them a little
Oh,
extra
it is a
oomph as
big
they fly
explosion.
through the tunnel. That looks hella fun, and also hella dangerous
Yeah.
as they launch out of it at the end. But no worries, they're back on their feet and running away together in
It was
no
that
time,
big of
looking
a-
like the cutest action
It was
couple I've seen
2,000
since Riggs
feet
and
below
Murtaugh. The
ground.
whaling
I guess
station
the pressure
collapses
only
all
had one
around
place
them
to
as
go.
They continue their marathon to safety. When they finally get a chance to breathe, Scar takes off his mask, which has got to be a bit disappointing to Lex.
He
to
drives
say
a
the
Lexus.
least. I bet she's feeling pretty catfished right about meow. Borrowing a moment from the comics that involved a lady named Machiko Noguchi, Scar bestows Lex with the Mark of the Blooded, which will make for one badass story she can tell for the rest of her life. But after the swearing-in ceremony, the alien queen bursts forth from the ground for one last action sequence. It's a decent battle between Scar and the Xeno
I guess
Queen,
that would
and
mark
Lex
her,
even
like,
gets in on the
safe
action when she sticks
from
the queen with
future
the tail of one of her
predators.
own children and makes her fall into a burning building. I love that shot. Then we get into full-on Jurassic Park mode. Talk about must go faster.
I'm guessing
As the
those are
AQ
well-known.
chases Lex underneath a big water tank or something. I don't know the ins and
Why
outs
would you
of
have a
whaling
water
stations.
tank in
Scar
Antarctica?
rejoins the fight just in time to save Lex, and together the two of them chain the alien queen up
That
to that
was
giant
sick.
bat right as it begins to fall over a cliff. Before it does, though, the Antarctic queen impales Scar through the back with her tail. Oh man, do
Dude,
you
it's the
see
second
this
time.
shit? This sucks. As payback for stabbing her new boyfriend, Lex finishes pushing the bat over the cliff, and it drags the alien queen down all the way through the ice sheet and deep into the freezing water below.
Yeah,
This
have
is
fun
kind
with
of
that.
like an Antarctic version of the old airlock trick that they used in the first two Alien
Yeah.
movies. Lex goes to tend to Scar, but it's too late. That dude dead. Sorry, Lex. I guess it's back to the online dating scene, huh? As she mourns her
Well-
lost would-be lover, a bunch
But
of
who
other
else was there?
predators
Oh,
appear out
oh,
of
God.
nowhere. But since they see that Lex is rocking that tribal tattoo, they leave her be as they carry Scar's body into their giant spaceship. This awesome-looking
No one else's
predator,
body, though.
who's apparently an ancient predator, gifts Lex
How
a
old is
combing
ancient?
stick and then takes off for his spaceship, twirling his fucking cape as he does it. A predator
Nice.
cape, man. That's like Fonzie levels of cool. The spaceship leaves Lex, you know, like pretty much
Also, is
stranded
she
in
not
the middle of
cold?
Antarctica, so that sucks. But I guess that snowcat there is supposed to give us hope that she won't die. The movie ends aboard the Predator spaceship, where Scar's body is laid out in front of a giant window. But don't look now.
Is he
there's
alive
a
or chest? Yep.
burster inside of him. And that motherfucker is here to say, sick wow! We had a three-way war in this movie, so surely there must have been a bunch of kills. Let's find out how many.
I mean, it
and
was
get
like
to the
32, I think.
numbers.
Oh no, James, no!
Damn it! It's getting my thrusty! It's getting my thrusty! I counted 32 humanoid deaths in Alien vs.
buddy.
Predator, which again means that xenomorphs weren't included. The victims included 6 predators, 18 human dudes, and 8 human ladies, although 7 of those were
just a
sacrificial
yeah.
maidens in a flashback. With the unrated version's runtime of 109 minutes, that
Still-
left us
wait,
with a kill
and it's
on
7
average
minutes
every
longer?
3.41
So the actual movie's
minutes.
102
I'll
minutes
give
long?
the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Celtic. I love the headbutt, and this is the only time in this movie that we got to see it in all its glory. Gotta love all that glow-in-the-dark blood going everywhere. Dull machete for lamest kill has
there's a
plenty
lot,
of
yeah.
options, but the second death of this movie was a mercenary being thrown into a table. What kind of horseshit is that? Being killed by a table slam? Mick Foley would be ashamed. And that's
What?
it. Alien vs. Predator came out in 2004 and made a whole bunch of money, which of course means that they made a sequel. We'll look at that movie, the much darker AVP Requiem, next
Oh,
week. But
well,
until then, I'm
no,
James
we're
H.
doing
Lee.
it in this
This
video.
has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this Kill Count. I want to thank some patrons like Danny E.
Shout out to
Aaron
my
S.
patrons.
Wells,
I could not do this if it
Matthew
was not
Huber,
for them.
and Jordan Blackwell. AVP, you guys have requested this so much. And although they're not my favorite movies,
Halloween
I am
2018
enjoying
was
doing the Kill
last
Counts
week.
for 'em. In case you missed it, all movie requests should go to deadmeatmovies@gmail.com. That's where they'll get counted, not in the comments. Thanks everyone, be good people.
Oh. Okay. I mean, yeah, okay, that makes sense, actually. I do it based off the comments.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims
shirt.
in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, released in 2007, 3 years after
10.
the first AVP. Although it takes place immediately after the first movie, Requiem is
Wait,
a very
didn't they have,
different
like,
film in a
X-ray
number of
vision?
ways. Most
And they didn't do that
significantly, it moves
for-
the story from the desolate Antarctica
didn't do that for
to a town
Scar?
in Middle America, just teeming with potential victims to die in this interstellar interspecies rivalry. And that's the other big difference. While the first AVP AVP was disappointingly tame when it came to kills, Requiem ups the gore and violence by a factor of 10, especially when it comes to the unrated version, which once again I'll be using for this kill count because I just don't think these movies need full-on cut comparisons. Not like you could even see the differences if I showed them to you. It's great that the kills are a lot better than Alien vs. Predator.
Why is it so dark?
It's tough to enjoy them when you can't see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
this movie's dark as shit. That might have been a way to get all these gory kills past the sensors. Let's find out how many they were trying to hide and get to them. The movie begins.
I'm sorry, is that Predator using the red lights
on its way home
to play with cats?
We all saw the last movie, so you know that Scar's body there is home to a nasty chest burster inside. And that chest burster grows up to be a cool-looking Pred alien. Well, I mean, it would look cool if you could actually see it. Hey, yo, other Predator cleaning bones and shit. Could you turn on a light in your spaceship? Might help you see that Pred alien creeping up behind you. I hope he did. And so is this other Predator we see getting killed in thermal vision. Damn, Pred alien, you get this party started right on time. Huh?
3 minutes in,
misses with this plasma caster, and that damages the ship enough to send it crashing back to Earth. Like high five. Sadly, this movie doesn't take place in Michigan, but rather Gunnison, Colorado, where this dad and his kid are hunting deer. Both probably high out of their minds. Coloradans, right? They bear witness.
Is that what you call me from Colorado?
In their woods, so they go and check it out. Whoa, Dad, you think they got any munchies in there? Nah, just some gross ass face huggers. And that shit for aim Predator who's lying there injured and sees the facehuggers escape. That Predator, named Bull, I guess, makes a phone call on his doodad wrist before getting finished off by that crazy killer Pred alien, who's starting this movie with a triple kill. The escaped facehuggers prove to be equally effective when they quickly find the hunting father
they're
and
so
son.
dead.
One gets shot by the dad, Buddy, who then gets hit by the alien's acid blood, which dissolves his fucking arm off.
Oh, that's sick.
Then another facehugger hops on Pop, and the kid, Sam, ends up being equally unlucky. Later on, Sam wakes up to find his dad, Buddy, battling indigestion, and neither of them are able to escape the fate of some CGI chest bursters who kill them both with a bunch of blood.
That's
rough,
buddy.
The kid. Requiem ain't here to play, son.
15 minutes in. That's nuts.
Way back to this Predator chilling in a fortress back home, and after seeing that this is
what
a
about the
job
ancient
for upper
one?
management, he suits up and arms himself to go take care of business. This Predator is actually named Wolf, after Harvey Keitel's character in Pulp Fiction, who was also called upon to fix a nasty problem.
Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the fuck you do that?
Oh, and shit, is that the Predator's home planet, Yautja Prime, that he's taken off from? Show me more! The movie takes a break from the action to introduce some of the residents of Gunnison, Colorado, but honestly, neither AVP movie is strong when it comes to character depth, so let me just run through them real fast for you. Eddie Morales is the sheriff of Gunnison, so it's kind of ironic that he's good friends with Dallas Howard, who's a recently released convict. Also, how about to name another guy Dallas in your Alien movie? This dude ain't no Tom Skerritt. Dallas's younger brother is Ricky, standard name for younger bros, and he's got the hots for a chick named Jessie, who is literally nothing more than a sexy love interest. And standard for that role, she's also got a douchey boyfriend who's named Dale, who beats up Ricky with his friends, cause, you know, bad guys. Oh, what? You want more characters? Okay, here's Kelly, a soldier returning home from Iraq to a husband who's been missing her and a kid who barely knows her.
I want Dad to read it.
Dad's been reading to you for the past 2 years, kid, and he can't even do funny voices.
Wait,
like
she was deployed for 2 years? I didn't think deployments lasted that long.
And once inside, attack a pair of vagrants living there. One of them, a dude named Harry. I wish this shit wasn't so dark so you could see the awesome practical effects here. Once again, done by ADI. For the facehuggers, they used both animatronics and puppets to really great effect. Let us see your strong points, AVPR. Anyway, the vagrants fall victim to facehuggers to beget more xenomorphs, while a lady down there is accosted for an all-new procedure at the hands
they really just keep reproducing more aliens and aliens and aliens.
Wolf gets dropped off on Earth by a spaceship that you know had its brake lights in working order, and after paying homage to the OG Preddy film by coming out the water all sparkly and shit, he finds his murdered brethren aboard the crashed ship. Removing Bull's helmet, he's able to watch a play-by-play recap and see what he's up against. And he ain't too happy about that abomination he's gonna have to hunt. After gearing up with even more weapons, including a dope-ass plasma caster, he heads out, making sure to destroy the ship behind it. Whoa, what happened to that thing? Did that just disappear? There's a search party going on in the woods for Buddy and Sam. We see Wolf watching it.
That's a lot of people in a very tight area.
But unlike in the first 3 Predator movies, nothing ever comes of this talent, and it's never brought up again. We do see Wolf use a blue juice, but it's not the same stuff from Predator 2 that the city hunter used to kind of heal himself or whatever. This stuff is instead some kind of ultra Windex cleaning solution that Wolf uses to dispose of the evidence that the Pred alien left behind.
Oh wow,
Completely
that's
dissolving the body
immediate.
finds. Way to clean up Mother Earth, Wolf. And it ain't even your mother. When Deputy Ray of the search party comes across Wolf, the Predator goes into predating mode and in no time at all murders the young cop by stabbing him through the back with his wrist.
Well,
Invisikill. Flawless. Victory.
You had to get rid of that body too?
Eddie finds out that Ray never came home to his pregnant wife Carrie, so he goes out into the woods and finds the Predator's prey strung up from a tree, stripped of his skin in classic Preddy fashion. Wolf is still hot on the Xenopred's trail, and down in the sewer he comes across the remains of Harry and other guy, the vagrants who got face-hugged and subsequently chest-bursted to death. I'll also include that woman on the count now, since she'll have been bursted by this point too. It's a pretty messy situation, but nothing a little elbow grease and blue juice can't take care of.
Really?
Wow, that stuff works wonders on calcium. But what about lime and rust? Deeper into the sewer tunnels, Wolf gets attacked by some xenomorphs. He kills
surprise,
one,
surprise.
which, as you know by now, doesn't go on the kill count because it's a buggy-ass xenomorph, and is about to open some whoop-ass on another 2 when the Pred alien shows up to save its half-siblings. The warrior xenomorphs escape out of the sewer, as does the Pred alien, leaving Wolf no choice but to follow them after he beat-boops on this power punch glove. Yeah, it's a stupid name for a thing, but at least this extraterrestrial ass is getting taken to the streets. They wind up at the diner in which Carrie the pregnant widow works, and on her way out, when she hears a noise coming from the kitchen, she goes back there to find the cook Richie getting his skull and spine ripped out by the Pred alien, out of focus and in the extreme foreground. Right, Carrie? I wish we got a better view of it too.
Why do you just sit there and watch? Why don't you just try and run
ripping off
or
the
something?
iconic shot from Alien 3, do you really think you earned that one, Requiem? It leaves Carrie, who smells like baby, to the Pred alien leader. Cut away! Meanwhile, in this movie's boring human melodrama, Jessie told Ricky that she dumped Dale earlier that day, so now they're sneaking into the high school swimming pool where Jessie can just like
whose high school has a swimming pool?
Role of being a hot
My school had a there was
seriously, did the camera need to
a myth that there was a swimming pool on our
even at all?
roof?
Dale shows up randomly with
and people actually believe that.
And Ricky knocks them all into the pool for a splishy splashy romp around. Wolf chases a xenomorph to a power station where it comes across a worker named Nate and plays another of the alien's greatest hits, the head bite, this time through a hard hat. Time to up those standards, OSHA. Wolf catches up to the xenomorph and shoots at it with his plasma caster, but he only manages to hit the surrounding power station and cause a giant blackout to go across this entire little mountain town. The blackout puts the teen boy splash around on pause, and a xenomorph randomly hops into the pool to swim over to the boys like it's
hopefully the effects are better.
Oh, and this is why Dale always had 2 dudes with him for extra kills. The first of his bros, Mark, doesn't even make it out of the pool. He instead gets head bitten through the back of the head.
In the pool.
That would be cool if it wasn't so goddamn dark. Pump up the game, movie! After the important characters escape the school through a window, the other toady, Nick, gets caught by the Xeno and pulled back into the building.
Well, goodbye.
Off-screen but still bloody kill. Later, the xenomorph takes his body and, I guess starts to eat it, right? Is that eating? But mealtime is cut short after Wolf shows up and spears the alien in the head, continuing his cleanup mission with a swimming pool full of blue juice soup.
Dude literally just cleans up.
The next xenomorph sighting comes from
He's
Molly,
literally a
daughter of
janitor.
that soldier lady Kelly, who sees one through her window. It's alive, like me. Her parents think she's just making stuff up at first, but they become believers pretty quickly.
See? No monster.
Oh, yep, there is definitely a monster.
That's a wrap on Kelly's husband Tim, who gets murdered by that xenomorph as his wife and daughter flee. Honestly, they didn't need to run away. It's not like they would have been able to see anything anyway.
That's true, yeah, can't see it.
The aliens score.
You know, you can't see them, they can't see you. There you go.
Buddy, the one-armed hunter man, comes to the town diner and finds Carrie dead in the kitchen. Looks like she's having triplets! So yeah, that's the Pred alien's whole deal. It can create multiple xenomorphs at once through this one trick it doesn't want predators to know about: belly bursting. Sheriff Eddie and his ex-convict pal Dallas are checking out this tragic CGI fire at the power station when Ricky, Jesse, and Dale show up and tell them what they saw. Meanwhile, Kelly and Molly have run all the way from their house to this random cemetery, where a construction worker named Carl is also hiding, armed with a gun after having discovered his co-worker Nate's corpse. Wolf, who's tending to his wounds in a nearby
have a gun on him.
doesn't like the way Carl
was in his
waving
car.
that gun around all loosey-goosey, so he sets his laser sight on the dude's head and shoots it straight the fuck off with his blaster. "Oh man, Wolf, you shot
I mean,
Carl
I
in
would
the
pick up the
face.
gun, too.
Did you mean to, or did you hit a bump or something?" Kelly and Molly run away again, and even though Wolf sees them, fuck it, I guess. Between the blackout and the, killer aliens running around, there's a huge traffic jam preventing our heroes from getting out of town.
People don't know how to drive,
Widow
actually.
Darcy stumbles into the gridlock and tells Sheriff Eddie about Carrie's triple belly burst. So Dallas says they can't wait for the National Guard to show up and that they've got to defend themselves. They head to a sporting goods store. And
what is the National Guard gonna do?
But, I'm pretty sure you can't eminent domain firearms like that, Sheriff. And turns out they didn't even need to wait that long because the National Guard is already here.
Or ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
This is gonna be a whole lot of kills for me to count, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see. I count 6 confirmed kills here. Either
remember what I said about the National Guard soldiers? What are they gonna do?
Rip-off of the Lost World long grass kills. Although there are other dudes there shooting against the xenomorphs as they make their funny elephant noises.
They do sound like elephants.
I won't put them on the count just based on conjecture, especially since they start yelling to fall back. Who knows? Maybe they escaped. Unlikely as that may be. Hungry to make some more triplets, the Pred alien heads to a hospital and I guess
spawn
the
killing?
directory to the maternity ward, where it quickly murders a nurse there by grabbing her by the neck.
Man, that is
stabbing
so
her with its
unrealistic.
tail.
They're able to find their way
It finds
throughout a
random
hospital.
pregnant lady, and we see in full detail how it operates when it slips the expecting mother the tongue. Oh man, the kids in grade school were right. You can get pregnant from French kissing. At the gun store, the main characters find a couple of future meatbags who admit that they're stoned.
What are you guys, stoned?
Okay.
I grabbed some rifles.
Wait, no, they just said they were stoned, dude. They're also joined by Kelly and Molly. So
does that inhibit their ability to handle firearms? I mean, you shouldn't,
but turns out he just wanted to string him up as bait to
it's
rule
added
out a
liability,
xenomorph, which the Preddy makes
but in
short
this
work
situation,
of by half decapping it with his wrist blades. Everyone runs in and sees
There's
Wolf,
way worse.
But of course, the only 2 who get killed right now are those stoners we just met, when their heads get blown off by Wolf's plasma casters. See, this works. We can still root for Wolf because we didn't even know those 2 dudes. So, fuck them and their grieving families, right? And as okay as it would be, Wolf doesn't get to kill douchey Dale directly. Instead,
what do you mean
while
directly?
The other characters
He dies though.
The back, Dale gets attacked by a xenomorph, and after Wolf shoots the bug with his
that
cannon,
probably was
resulting blood rains
longer
down
death.
into the broy boyfriend's face and gives him a gnarly
that's a worse death. Yeah.
We've come a long way from AVP's PG-13 rating, dude. At the hospital, a doctor comes into the maternity ward to find that one pregnant woman having already been belly bursted, and another right in the middle of the process. Oh, and that one looks like quadruplets. Damn, Pred alien, did you even budget for that? The Pred alien did not budget for quadruplets, and it takes its stress out by headbutting the doctor. Did that make you feel better about your financial anxieties, Pred alien?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. The human characters find what's left of the National Guard
If you
equipment, though as they point out, there are no
kids
bodies
at a
in
hospital
sight.
and it's twins or
Nothing for me to
triplets.
count here. They rearmed themselves.
Is the
and
pregnancy
use a
is like the
satellite phone
delivery
called
the same
where a dude named
price?
Colonel Stevens answers and tells them
But
they'll
like
be sending an
the
airlift to a
price
rendezvous
of care for the
in the
kid
center
is
of
just
town. Oh man, you
you
can't
know,
trust
cumulative.
a man when it comes to alien containment, y'all. On their way to the rendezvous, with Kelly driving the tank, their word, not mine. So don't comment telling me it's an APC or something.
Because it is. It's definitely not a tank.
But I did.
I think the Colonel was lying.
That's crazy. The government doesn't lie to people.
Oh, sweet Darcy. Remember the Maine? Correctly assuming that the government will be trying to contain
Well, blame the Maine on
Kelly
Spain.
wants to head to the hospital so they can escape on their own in a helicopter. But Sheriff Eddie still has faith in law and the Colonel's orders. A truck pulls up with other townies headed to the rendezvous, and our heroes break off into 2 groups. Darcy the Trustworthy joins Sheriff Eddie on the truck going to the center of town, while the other main characters head to the hospital along with this rando named Drew.
I'm going to the
APC.
tank.
Maybe he's hoping the tank is going somewhere always sunny. The tank gets to the hospital, and inside, the group finds a bunch of bodies that I had to freeze frame and count. There are 5 that I see here, and yeah, they might just be cadavers or whatever, but I can't really tell what's going on, so I figured I might as well err on the side of overcounting rather than undercounting.
Yeah, why not?
Might get me yelled at a little less in the comments. Actually,
But something
you know
you're not
what?
able to
This
know.
movie's exposure is bullshit. I'm sick of not being able to see what's happening. From now on, I'm throwing a filter over any footage
that's
where it's
way
simply too
better.
dark to see. There, that's better. They head into
I
the
can see
stairwell,
everything
where it
now.
looks like the Pred alien is building a new hive. Gotta expand that creep somehow. On their way up to the roof, a xenomorph attacks that Drew guy so he can fulfill his red shirt destiny and get added to the count. Pretty predictable, but at least we get more of that elephant noise when they shoot the alien. I love that stupid noise, which was apparently captured by accident when someone recorded a peacock screech at the same time a baby elephant trumpeted. So thanks, Dumbo. Outside, Wolf has arrived at the hospital, and luckily, he has the keys for the place. He ends up fighting the Pred alien for a little bit, and then a bunch of xenomorphs, who he kills in a variety of ways. First, he plasma casts a head off, then he dissolves one with his bottle of blue juice, and finally, he uses a freaking shuriken to give himself a two.
I guess they're like, yeah, no, we saw it the first time, it was cool, let's do it again, but double it.
And it flies into Jessie, who was running ahead of the rest of the group. Wow, her character only existed to be leered at and get killed. But hey, at least she went out with a pretty gruesome death, being totally cut in half.
Why are you not running?
The xenomorph knocks Wolf into an elevator shaft, robbing Ricky of the revenge kill he wanted for Jessie. After he finds Wolf's cool-ass caster gun, the Pred alien shows up out of nowhere to impale him through the back with its tail. But then Dallas shoots at the hybrid XT and it runs away from them.
Oh, well, I mean, it definitely got shot.
Badass, and you're running away from these punks? What gives? The humans make it to
556.
the
Come on,
helicopter is waiting for them. And since Dallas is rocking that Predator pistol, he decides to hold off the swarming xenomorphs while telling the others to, you guessed it,
go on
with
the
chopper. You know he had to do it to him.
Yeah,
also, with all these damn bugs getting killed, I am once again glad that I don't have to include them.
But also, that recoil is insane. It's nuts that a human can do that, because that recoil
not
is
only
nuts.
by Dallas with that alien handgun, but also by Ricky with a human handgun as he waits in the chopper for his brother. Then Wolf shows up to the party too, and he has a new party trick to show us. Peep this Castlevania whip that he uses to cut a xenomorph in two with. Fuck yeah, dude. Dallas makes it to the helicopter,
and dies.
4 surviving humans fly away, leaving Wolf and the Pred alien to settle their score on the hospital rooftop. Now's a good time to commend the work of Ian White, who plays Wolf the Predator, and Thomas Woodruff Jr., who plays the Pred alien. They give both these alien species so much character without any dialogue. It's all through their masterful movement, which is not easy in those big-ass suits they're wearing. Like I mentioned last kill count, Thomas Woodruff Jr. has played various xenomorphs since Alien 3, and Ian White not only played the Predators in both AVP movies, but also various characters from Game of Thrones,
who?
including some White Walkers, the Giant 1-1 in seasons 5 and 6, and for a few episodes in season 2, the mountain that rides himself.
I knew that. I knew that. I knew that the second mountain
on each other in a short
was the giant.
Then Wolf gets serious and takes off his mask so the two of them can square up and launch into an all-out Preddy
Dude, I love Game of
fight.
Thrones.
Props to Jeff Haberstad, the second unit director who filmed this fight, because it's pretty damn fun. Highlights include Wolf ripping out the Pred alien seed plant tongue, Wolf uppercutting his opponent with his wrist blades, and the Pred alien stabbing Wolf through the back with its tail. Unfortunately, this kick-ass fight isn't gonna really matter in a second.
Why?
Well, remember all those people gathering in the middle of town for that evac the army told them was coming? Let's just say I had to do a lot of frame-by-framing on these overhead shots of them holding off bugs. Because, get this, dude, as Colonel Stevens watches on a monitor, a jet flies overhead. And yeah,
what kind of jet? What kind of jet?
Doing it, man.
What kind of jet?
They actually drop a freaking nuke on Gunnison, Colorado.
Would they even
in the
need
last
to
shot of
drop
the town
the nuke?
before it goes up, I can count 40 people standing.
That's
so
insane.
let's add
In that
42
darkness?
to the count right now. We've got 38 nameless townsfolk, whose genders I'm not even going to try to surmise. Sheriff Eddie Morales, Darcy, the patriotic hunting widow, Wolf, the badass predator, and yes, the Pred alien, who production nicknamed Chet for some reason. I'll count Chet
like
because the
Holgram?
Pred alien is pretty unique, if not altogether humanoid. And yes, that means that I probably should have counted the hybrid newborn back in Resurrection. I'm sorry I didn't. But back to this movie, can you believe they freaking nuked this town? Like mushroom cloud and everything, man. That is super fucked up. The survivors in the helicopter got out just in the nick of time,
plane
because
was
even though the blast
that?
catches up to them, they're able to survive their apparent
Was
helicopter crash, only to get surrounded
like,
by
it
a
looked-
bunch of army dudes in camouflage who
This
come
is
out of the woods.
2007.
You bastards killed the entire
Was
town.
the F-35 deployed
maybe
back
find a
then?
different way to word that argument. The army dudes promise the survivors that a medevac is coming. Yeah, stop me if you've heard this one before. And the movie ends with Colonel Stevens
Was it an
presenting the
F-22
plasma
though?
pistol to a woman revealed to be Ms. Yutani. Dun dun
But the
dun. Time to get
That
corporate
was
merging, motherfuckers.
inside
We just watched a
of
whole
the
freaking town
internal
get
bays
so I'm
of a
sure
stealth
you're curious
fighter.
about the numbers. Let's get to them. What's that jet? What's that jet doing? Why is it coming towards us like that? What's that?
I mean, you wouldn't hear until it was there.
Oh, it's just a Blue Angel show. Oh, cool.
Oh, those are
I'm gonna
F-18s.
go watch this. Nice.
Really impressive. I like planes.
I counted 78 kills in
Oh.
APR. The final 42 all going together in a frickin' mushroom cloud. Between that and those cadavers, we had a whopping 42 human victims of unknown gender.
This
of the known kills,
pie chart's gonna be
23
insane.
were human males, 8 were human females, 4 were predators, and the last was the Pred alien. Wow, what a pie chart. A 5-part pie chart.
That's the
With
first
the
of that.
version's runtime of 101 minutes, we had a kill on average every 1.29
I mean, we
minutes.
started with how
Yeah,
many in the first, like,
mostly
3
thanks
minutes?
to that nuke. I'll give the golden chainsaw for
The
coolest
nuke?
kill to Jesse.
Oh,
I
wow.
hate the way this character is written, but you gotta admit, that's a cool fucking kill.
Just out of
Honorable
nowhere
mention
getting
to
yoinked
Dale's
by a
bounty piece,
shuriken.
though. That was sick. Doll Machete for lamest kill can go to those bodies they found in the hospital. I don't like giving this award to kills like this, but honestly, most of the deaths in this movie were pretty dope. And that's it. Aliens vs. Predator Requiem came out in 2007. and
Hopefully I don't
although
have
it was a
copyright issues with the
financial
video.
success,
God, I really
it is
hope.
the latest AVP movie to date.
What?
Maybe we'll see another one
Wasn't
now
it a
that
financial
both these
success?
franchises are active again. But until we do, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for
Nice.
watching this Kill Count. I want to thank a couple of
next
patrons
one's My
like
Bloody
Connor
Valentine
Falsky, Mark
3D.
Counter, Paul Ruiz, and
Shout out to my
Beardman
patron.
9001. All right, AVP movies out of the way. Hope you enjoyed them as much as you requested them, because you
I
requested
didn't request
them a
them.
lot. I'm
I
not
did
jumping
it,
into
but
the
I enjoyed
Alien
them.
prequels or the Predator immediately, but they're coming soon. Let me have a couple episodes where I do fun movies first. Thanks everyone.
Fun
Be good
movies.
people.
Wow. Yeah. My Bloody Valentine 3D. A Quiet Place. I know nothing about. Pet Cemetery. I know nothing about. The first Purge I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen like any of these. I'm excited to watch the Leprechaun Returns from 2018. That's gonna be awesome. But yeah, this is the first like double video we've actually had in a while, I would say. But this was enjoyable. I do read all your comments, even though we are on the second channel Duck Goes To. I hope that you were subscribed, and shout out to the patrons because they get all the videos a day early, and I could not do this if it was not for them. And I hope that you're subscribed because I upload more videos on this channel than the main channel because that's just how the algorithm works right now. But like I said, if you're a patron, it's all the same to you. Make sure you're subscribed. I still read all your comments. I really do appreciate you watching these videos. We're back to doing Kill Count every single week. I know there was a period of time where I did it for a couple weeks, but now we're back to doing it every week. I look forward to the next one because My Bloody Valentine was actually a joy to watch before. I'm really excited for The Quiet Place, though, because I've heard a lot about that movie and I know nothing about it. But that'll be a time for a couple weeks from now. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But until next video, take care and keep the music.